Hello everyone and welcome back to Coin Bureau Clips. It is time for another Q&A. So thank you again to everyone who sent in questions. I posted a request on Instagram and we had some great ones sent in. So the team have selected a few for me to answer for you today. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. Okay. A. Liutko asks, best crypto podcast. Well, I can't really give you a short answer on that one because there are quite a few that I listen to and very much enjoy. So I'll just give you off the top of my head some of the best ones out there. So What Bitcoin Did, hosted by Peter McCormack, is brilliant. Obviously, Peter is a dyed-in-the-wool Bitcoin maxi, but not of the toxic type. What Bitcoin Did is brilliant. It's been going on for a long, long time. He talks to some really interesting people. Highly recommended. Another one that I'm a big fan of is Unchained, which is hosted by Laura Shin. This is a great one for kind of keeping up with everything that's sort of going on in crypto at the moment. So I listen to that fairly regularly to sort of just, keep abreast of what's happening. And again, she is great. She gets some really, really good guests in as well. So particularly enjoy that. What are some other ones that I like? One that I've got into recently is Castle Island Ventures, which is hosted by Nick Carter. He is a great kind of crypto thinker, if you like. And that's, again, sort of really good on kind of what's happening at the moment. It also kind of looks into some of the macro factors affecting crypto as well. So Castle Island Ventures, very much recommended. Now, I have to say that one of my favorite crypto podcasts hasn't posted any episodes recently. That is Up Only with Kobe and Ledger. Their last episode, I think, was from maybe early this year or late last year. I don't quite know why they haven't done it recently. Maybe they're just too busy working on other things. But Up Only is brilliant. There are some great episodes on there, archived episodes. So check those out as well. And funnily enough, there was a good interview with Ledger from Up Only on the Bankless podcast recently as well. Bankless is another one that I enjoy listening to as well. But yeah, their conversation with Ledger is really, really good. It was sort of mostly trading focused, got pretty high level, I must say. But yeah, Ledger's a very interesting person to talk to and get his opinions on everything. So check that out as well. I told you I didn't have a short answer to that question. I'm sorry. There are lots of other cool crypto podcasts, so apologies to those I haven't mentioned, but yeah, I listen to so many. Those are just a few that came off the top of my head. Okay. So Decentrian asks, don't you agree that Bitcoin whales are a big struggle for mass adoption and reduce faith in crypto? That's a good question. Yeah, I did see, funnily enough, just earlier today, actually, some statistics that show that actually smaller holders of BTCs, I think it's shrimps and crabs, have been accumulating a lot recently. And I think that is great news. That is exactly what we want to see. So Bitcoin whales, yeah, I'm kind of with you there. In the sense that, yeah, okay, first up, if a lot of Bitcoin's supply is concentrated in just a handful of wallets, that is going to be a hindrance to mass adoption if only a few people are hodling it and never spending it. So, yeah, I take your point on that. Do they reduce faith in crypto? I suppose they can, in the sense that quite a lot of movements in the crypto market. I mean, crypto can be so easily moved by whales dumping in the markets and stuff. So, yeah, that can certainly undermine confidence in it as well. So I must say I'm fully in favor of seeing Bitcoin redistributed as much as possible. So it's certainly heartening to see smaller wallets accumulating a lot, and let's hope that continues over time. Okay. Hamza Haji asks, do you think Bitcoin will move massively before the 2024 halving? Well, in previous cycles, the Bitcoin price has generally started increasing prior to the halving. So we sort of see, a gradual kind of run up to the event itself. And I don't see any reason to think that this time around won't be different. Obviously, the next halving is in, I think, April 2024. So just under a year away now. I don't think we'll see a massive move prior to it, but I think we will see a pretty noticeable move leading up to it. And then obviously, I think in the wake of the halving, that's when I'd expect to see the sort of heavier price action. But yeah, I think we'll see a gradual build up as the halving approaches. That's assuming that the cycle plays out as we expect it to. Obviously, there are things that could affect that, but that is generally the way that the crypto market cycle has gone before. Sorry to interrupt you folks, but I have to tell you all about the Coin Bureau deals page. Now, my team and I have been able to pull together some of the best discounts and promos in the whole crypto space. We're talking trading fee discounts of up to 50%, thousands of dollars in bonuses, amazing deals at some of the top exchanges, reduced prices on hardware wallets, and much, much more besides. So to find out more, visit coinbureau.com/deals. You'll find that link to below and find the deal that's best for you. And now, back to the video. KPipe70 asks, what do you think about CFX? Will Hong Kong have much of an effect on Asian tokens? So CFX, so Conflux is, I must say, I don't know an awful lot about it. I know it's this layer one that has regulatory approval in China. Now that's obviously a big advantage. I don't know much beyond whether it's seeing kind of a lot of adoption in China. Obviously, China isn't exactly what you call the most crypto-friendly place. But I mean, if China does kind of relax its stance on crypto, then that could certainly be positive for Conflux. But obviously, the fact that it does have that regulatory approval, so to speak, in China means it's probably not all that decentralized, and probably quite a lot of control over that network. So yeah, that's something that would make me wary of it. However, the second part of your question, will Hong Kong have much of an effect on Asian tokens? That we could well see. Obviously, Hong Kong is going to make it legal for retail investors to invest in crypto from the 1st of June, so less than a month away from now, which is very exciting, which is going to be, I think, positive overall for crypto. One caveat I will add, though, is that it is going to be limited to sort of major cryptos. So don't think of it as, Hong Kong opening up for, crypto trading right across the board. I think mostly the ones that benefit will probably be the larger cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. So, but I mean, if things like CFX are available to investors in Hong Kong, then that would certainly be positive for it. And we have seen this, I think, in the past. Certain countries, certain groups of investors often tend to favor projects that they're more sort of natively familiar with, if you like. So, assuming that they are accessible via Hong Kong, then yeah, that could certainly be positive for them. Okay. RL Kendrick asks, it's bad if a crypto is found to be a security, but if it starts life as one, is it still as bad? That's a good question. Now, the thing that springs to mind here is Stacks. And those of you who are familiar with Stacks, I think it's a project I've talked about a few times before. We did a video about it on the main channel ages and ages ago. Now, Stacks actually, they interestingly decided to go down the regulatory compliance route. So Stacks, STX, was originally registered as a security. And I think, but basically they then tried to unregister it as a security, which I think they eventually did in order to get listed on US exchanges. And that's the problem. I think, if a crypto does do it right and registers as a security, or tries to do, what they believe is right, I should say, then obviously the problem then is that it becomes less accessible to retail investors. Now, I did do a video on what would happen if cryptos were all, if cryptos were all labeled as securities in the United States. And that is generally the big problem. There's lots of compliance that the issuers have to go through, and it's often limited in who can invest in those cryptos. Quite often it's limited to accredited investors, which, as you'll all probably know, is basically code for rich people. So regular investors can often have a hard time accessing, getting to invest in securities. So yeah, I guess in the case of Stacks, they went down that route and then basically changed their mind. So I guess, but then again, with the changes we're likely to see in the regulatory landscape in the United States, perhaps that will be the way to go in future. Perhaps it'll be the only way to go in future. Okay, Cold Sanctum asks, what are you currently reading? I just started it yesterday. Ray Dalio's Principles for Dealing with the New World Order. Now, this is a book that I've come across, if you like, a few times. I've seen it referenced a lot of times, and it has actually been sitting on my shelf for quite a while, and I've only just got around to reading it. So far, highly recommended, very much enjoying it. So that's Ray Dalio. I haven't read Principles, actually. He's written a few books, Ray Dalio. He's very much, very well respected. So far, I am enjoying Principles for Dealing with the New World Order. So I'll keep you updated with how I'm getting on with it. Okay, AJ Drives Guitar asks, that's a funny name, what did you major in when you were in college? In the UK, we do it slightly differently, because I know you guys in the States and probably elsewhere, you study a whole range of subjects at university, and then you obviously choose one to major in, which is your main one. We don't do that in the UK. I just read English literature at university, and I very much enjoyed it. I had to kind of work pretty hard at the end in order to get my degree mark up, but I basically brought it home with my dissertation, which was on George Orwell, his 1984, basically dystopias in literature, which is why I use the word dystopia a lot, because I wrote my dissertation on it. Okay, I hope that answers your question. This last question, Farukoka asks, were you beaten? Anyone got any idea what that means? Were you beaten? Oh, okay. Okay, maybe it's, I don't know if any of you noticed last week or maybe even the week before, but my eye was in a bit of a state. I had a corneal ablation, I think it was, when you've got sort of blood in your eyeball. Basically, I was playing paddle tennis here in Dubai, which is the new thing that I've got into. Really, really enjoying playing it. And yeah, it's one of these sports. It's really kind of taking off all around the world. Anyhow, I was playing paddle, and one of my colleagues with whom I was playing whacked the ball really hard in my direction. It bounced off the edge of my racket and straight into my eyeball. And I have to say, it hurt like hell, because he's quite big and strong and he hits the ball very hard. So yeah, my eye was a bit sort of all over the shop. But no, I wasn't beaten up. I just had an unfortunate run-in with a tennis ball. I don't recommend it, folks. I mean, I do recommend playing paddle. I enjoy that very much. But yeah, don't let them get the tennis ball in your eye. That I don't recommend. Anyhow, that's all we've got time for today, for today's Q&A. So thank you for all your questions. We'll do another one again soon. And remember what I said about tennis balls in the eye. Highly recommend you avoid that. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back again soon.